welcome to the Next Canon podcast. My name is Danny Ray. You know that we are working to recreate and reimagine the American theater canon to make it more representative of what we want it to be. Hey, you guys, I'm so excited today. We have Nicolas Bernard.
Hello, hello, hello.
Nicholas uses he, him pronouns. And tell the people a little bit about yourself, Nicholas.
Hi guys, Nicholas Bernard, Seattle actor of 3 years now, originally from Rochester, New York. Bitch on wheels, cancer survivor. Your father loves me.
Yes. Oh my gosh, how have you been?
I've been, honestly, girl, like I've been really good.
Yes.
Life is been very cute the past couple weeks.
I love that.
um Slowly getting more stressful because some nice opportunities have come thine way. Not thine, that would be you.
Thine as well.
Thine is, thank you. Some nice opportunities have come my way, but it also made my life a little bit more stressful. But not good. It's like the stress we had pre Pantasonic, so
Which
it's
just
cute.
feels like too much stress now because we've been here for a year, like
you
chilling.
know like
I seriously was just like, what's gonna happen when I don't have enough time to do my crafts? Because I'm like a little old
my
lady.
crafts.
I'm a little old
Yes.
lady. But like I was like, what am I gonna do when I don't have time? What about when I have work? Like I'm complaining about having
What
work.
about your work?
What about when I'm directing and I just don't have time anymore? Stupid.
Literally just like unable to do anything for
Right.
once.
What was the beginning of the pandemic like for you?
The beginning I was working. I'm working at Starbucks again now. But I started the pandemic at Starbucks. I was downtown, and then they shut down downtown. So then they moved. Oh my god, it was so crazy. Then they moved me to a store in Ballard, and I was at the store in Ballard. They gave people at Starbucks the option to take some time off,
Hmm.
unpaid leave of absence, or you could stay on with a pandemic raise,
Yeah, the hazard pay or whatever.
hazard pay, whatever the fuck it was, yes, and unlimited overtime. So me being, poor and also culturally Jamaican, I said to myself, I'm gonna work 60 hours a week. Just gonna be what it is.
You said,
I
give
go,
me all the money.
please, moolah, dinero, cheese. Okay, I want it. But that went on for about maybe a month and a half, and then I took the LOA for all of summer, really most of
Nice.
summer. Um, and I was general things that everybody else was going through in terms of like bouts of anxiety and depression, blah blah blah, all the like, not to like minimize it, but like the stuff that all of us experience. None of it was particularly like to me.
Right.
Um, but other than that, it was honestly like low key a blessed year. Like I
Right.
Because of everything that happened, strange. Like, and I tried. And I did. I honestly, a lot of my time in quarantine was spent dealing with quote unquote survivor's guilt, of
Hmm.
that feeling of like, my life is like actually pretty solid right now and pretty chill.
Hmm.
Nothing's really like, honestly, I'm thriving a little bit in this time.
Yeah.
And it's like dealing with that feeling of like, but so many people that I knew personally and people that I didn't know like were suffering. My uncle died. Like it was just like,
Right.
ah, but
Yeah.
it was good though. It was honestly a good year.
Yeah, it's that thing of like there were so many changes and then you can handle them however you ended up handling them. And like some
Mm-hmm.
of it was a relaxation of like the go, go, go attitude that we all had.
Yes, 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 yes,
Like
yes,
I had
yes.
3 jobs. I had, yeah, 2 of them at the time of cancellation of at the time of termination. They were like, your show's canceled. Also, you're fired from your other job. So have fun.
Oh,
And I said,
Jesus Christ.
whoo, great.
Oh, this should be awesome. Love this for me.
But then it's like I got to relax at home with my family and not pay rent. So I'm very privileged in that. And so it's like
Mm-hmm.
entirely like childhood bedroomed up, which is like a different like thing to fight with, but not anything big at all. So it's like, oof,
Absolutely.
woof. So transitioning into our topic for today, what does the word canon mean to you, like when you hear
Uh,
it?
when I hear the word canon, I think of the way that it's been communicated to me in regards to like art, theater, literature, that sort of thing, are works that we as a society have deemed beyond reproach. That like there needs not they're they're they are not they are what's what I'm looking for. It's something that I like. It's something that I like to use to talk about like my own um viewpoint of how to pursue art. 'Cause, you know, people always say like you cannot like don't pursue perfection because it's impossible, and I
Hmm.
agree with that. But in response to that, I go, well, then I'm going to pursue flawlessness, because flawlessness implies that there are no flaws at the moment, but that does not mean that it cannot be better. So you can
Hmm.
constantly do more to add to it. And I think that the canon refers to works that we have decided are flawless. Like, sure, we can like maybe move them around, like some of these Shakespeare works or some of these like Greek works, but like as works themselves, you don't have to do anything to them.
Right.
They're perfect.
They're so good.
They're that good.
Yeah,
Some of
and
them
it's
are no tea.
which ones scream canon to you? Like when you're like, oh, this is
uh,
it.
as in like ones that I personally believe like should be or like this definitely is flawless to me, or ones that have I've been told are flawless.
Both, either like it's one of those
Both.
like what comes to mind immediately, like for me it's like Chicago. Well, oh, it's like it's so that's a canon
Oh yeah,
show. Not necessarily good or bad, but like what pops into
yeah.
the head.
I have thoughts on Chicago, but anyway,
See,
um,
almost never seen it, but I still consider it canon because I'm like
oh,
everyone knows this show.
there's tea behind that. Honestly, Hollywood's to blame for that because the original production of Chicago bombed. It was
Ooh,
not. It
that is
bombed,
tea.
and then the movie came out, and it was like, wait a minute.
Do we love this?
Do we like this? But I would say just because I just recently had watched it on the National Theater website, Antigone jumps out to
Mm,
me as
yeah.
something that people would consider to be canon. Obviously, like you got your Romeo and Juliets and things like that. Your streetcars named Desires, your Deep Blue Seas, your Waiting for Godot's, even your into we're talking about musicals, your Annies, your South Pacifics, your West Side Stories, your what's another one? What's the Sound of Music's, like
Hmm.
those things. Generally the white ones,
Yeah.
really.
Most usually, for
Yeah.
sure. And in that canon, what has got to go?
In that of the ones that
Aside,
I just
well, no, just in general, what's your show that's got
in
to go?
general,
But also, like, there's so many.
there's so many. For me, it's not even so much that like specific shows have to go. I just think that certain adaptations, interpretations, and honestly, translations of shows have to go. Like, I don't really need to see any more Romeo and Juliet in period. I don't need to see any Shakespeare in period, really. Half of these musicals that, like, you're not allowed to mess up with the estate, I don't need to see them either. Like, not even in terms of like the actual show, but like what the show is trying to say. A lot of these shows, quiet as it's kept and right as it's true, are not as timeless as people like to say that they're only timeless because we keep doing them. But like they're not really saying anything new. They're not saying anything that's like, oh, this has never been said better. Like I would go down, I would argue to the death about there hasn't been a better introduction to the dangers and perils of youth and impetuousness as Romeo and Juliet. That doesn't mean that it
Mm.
cannot be improved on as like a general concept, but it's just very like, yeah, no, that's it. That's what that is. That's what rebellious bullshit I'm invincible youth is, and everything else just kind of like it feels like it stems from that no matter
Right.
what. And of course there are like systems and things that like put that in place and why that's there, and like we can really go into all of that if you'd like to, but like the truth of the matter still stands that like it's in the text. The guy wrote it, it's right there, and like you can't pretend that it's not good. That being said, I don't need to see it that much.
Right.
We know that it exists and we know that it's there. Okay, so let's say something else new about it or keep it pumping. Um just saying.
Yes. Yes.
But that's really it. It's really not even so much like I can't think of there's no one show um that I think this show is horrid. It can never be helped. I think they can only be helped if we don't allow them to change and morph with the time. So yeah.
Yeah. And so many, like you said, estates have stuff in place to make it almost impossible to do that, which is just so
Mhm.
stupid, especially when you were talking about the like, if you want something to be like flawless or perfect, like perfect doesn't exist, but flawless, like we can still improve after that, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Make
like they
additions
don't want
to.
it to get better. I'm
They don't.
confused.
It's because they think that it can't. And also, what an insult to the artist.
Seriously.
You've this thing that you made. It we with all of the advancements in technology and literature and art and the understanding of the human condition. With all of that, there's nothing we can do to make yours better. It's
It's
just
so
gonna have to.
arrogant.
Sorry, we can't. Like that's stupid.
You couldn't do this better than I did it 50 years ago. So
Literally. Like what?
that's
Really? We
like
couldn't? I can spell better than you now. What do you mean I can't do it better than what?
that's like if you were gonna try and say that like in gymnastics, you know, Olympics are coming up. I'm watching gymnastics again. Simone Biles is literally the GOAT, the
Listen,
best one ever.
like literally like on paper. Like it's
On
not even like
paper,
really we can fight about it.
no, exactly. People will fight all day about LeBron or in basketball being the GOAT
Sure,
all day.
sure.
And you can fight
Yes,
about it like with you have sources, you know what I mean? But
definitely.
Simone Biles, there's no way. But thinking
There's
back to even like the 70s, they were not doing that kind of flips and tricks that are happening right now
no.
at
The
all.
thing has gotten better all
Exactly.
across all arts discipline across all like honestly the physical ones like gymnastics like dance like are the best examples. Like when ballet was first like becoming that girl, they weren't doing what these bitches are doing now.
Mm-mm.
These bitches are out here like point was not what the fuck it is now, and point
Right.
is not what the fuck it's gonna be in 20 years. Like come on y'all, like let's let's stop this. Let's stop pretending we don't know what's going on. It's going to move forward. It's either
Yeah.
going to move forward because we usher it in and we um like bring in change and accept change and try to do our best to like push change along in a way that's holistic for everybody, or it can come down like an asteroid, hit the dinosaurs, wipe everything out, and then we just got to start it all over again anyway. And people are going to find the wreckage of these things that you tried to protect and misinterpret them. And you're going to roll in your grave, aren't you? When
Ooh.
all you had to do was just let us do it now and get with the damn program, because someone's going to change it eventually. So why are you fighting? Why?
Exactly. Yep. Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
can't. I can't.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh my god, I cannot handle
Insanity
it.
in freaking sanity. And at least like, if they would allow us to like mess with it now, they could set it up in a way so that we still have the original. We still have, because like I wouldn't be upset if we had like real verbatim first edition productions of like certain shows, if I could get the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth like throughout the other seasons. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, girl, like case in point, um, three different almost three different theaters are about to do Mamma Mia within the span of a year and a half before COVID happened, and I saw two of them. And the only difference between those was the budget.
Yep.
So, and I promise you, the third one was gonna follow the exact same suit. That was it. That was it. Meanwhile, around the like a year prior to that, Show Tunes did that production of Legally Blonde where they cast Miss One Alexandria Henderson as Elle Woods. If you didn't see that, you missed something truly legendary. Honestly, that was so good. But I had seen hella productions of Legally Blonde online, in person. Everybody was doing it. We had the MTV one for the Broadway show. That was the first time I actually like saw the musical, and I like saw it. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we're saying new things here. There are new things being said about this show. The people are up. Wow, we're reinterpreting this music just at the tiniest bit.
Yes.
Okay, yes, this is how you do it. And I think it can go further.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Yes. So I know you have feelings on Annie. We did
Yes, I
talk
do.
about this in the
Yes,
past.
I do.
Can
Okay.
I hear just a little bit, just a smattering of your feelings on Annie?
So Annie, so in following with my um feelings that like we should be able to just like cut up, paste, and do whatever we want to with theater. Annie, after I've done it twice, I did it once in high school where I played Daddy Warbucks. Um, and I
We're rich.
was we got lit for
Rich.
rich. I was 17 and I didn't know how to do like an old person voice. So I just did the voice of Alan Rickman as Snape from Harry Potter.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
what's wrong, Annie? Do you not want to go to the Roxy? And then I did it with Fifth Ave in 2018. I think it was 18. I want to say it was 18.
With Timothy?
Maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
with one
2018.
Timothy Begay. And after doing it once as a child and once as an adult, and then having been like exposed to it my entire life, I think Annie, being the capitalist propaganda that it is, I think it's rife for commentary on the United States and the way that not even just not just and like so many different aspects of the United States, but really more so a commentary on the way that musical theater, even though it's probably like has the most like potential to be the most forward moving, most expansive, most creativity driven stage art form because it encompasses all of the major ones together. It's just it's stagnant under the foot of capitalism. And I think Annie is like the perfect musical to like talk about that with.
Yes.
And it's just and specifically this idea of like musicals. This vlogger named Lindsay Ellis. She has a video about Rent, and she uses this phrase that I've really come to like when talking about musical theater. Is that musical theater is say the most while doing the absolute minimum, or like they like trying to like they do they something along the lines of like they try to do the most but with doing nothing at all. And like
Mhm.
any musical that like you look at that tries to tackle like very intense themes all do this. They all fly like slightly short because money is involved in a very big way. But with Annie, like something I want to do, I want to just like really comment on the fact that like I can't technically rip this musical apart the way that I would like a Macbeth or like any of those Greek or old classics, comedy of errors.
Mhm.
So I just want to like talk about the fact that I'm not allowed to do it. So like my thesis scene is when Annie's in the cabinet and then like she's listening to Daddy Warbucks and the president and his cabinet talk about we don't know what to do about the Great Depression. No, we can't. Everything is, this thing that we made happen through our own decisions. We now don't know how to handle it. And she gets up on the table and she just goes, it's fine, like you just got to think about tomorrow. And she sings the song, tomorrow, I love you. Everything's gonna, it's the general feeling is if we all just band together, everything is gonna be okay. We can push forward, blah blah. So behind her, while she's on the president's desk singing this song out, I want to have a slideshow of just like all of the terrible things the United States government and under the like thumb of capitalism has done, perpetrated, or allowed to happen from that point, from the Great Depression onward
Oh
up
my
until the
God.
point where we're producing this actual show. And see, so that feeling that you would get from watching that, I want you to have that feeling from the beginning to the end. I want the ghosts of the homeless people who were brutalized in the Hooverville song to come back at the end during the finale. I want Miss Hannigan to be wasted during Little Girls and to have like dolls falling from the ceiling and her just like sloshing around stage like in tears, because this is the thing, she's singing about killing children. How is your life? What is the hand that you've been dealt, and what has happened to your spirit to where, because that's the thing with musicals, if we can't say it, we sing. If we can't sing it, we dance. So she's now singing and dancing. So the thought of murdering these kids is so intense within her that she has to deliver this through music. And we just go, oh, wow. This ward of the state wants to kill kids with no parents. That's hilarious.
Yep. I played Miss Hannigan at a children's camp one time, and the kids loved it when I was mean to them.
Loved
Like,
it.
I didn't even have to be on the stage. They were like, "Yeah," and I was just like, "You stupid little girls," and they were like, "I love it." Like, they were living for it. They wanted me
Like,
to yell at them, and I was like, "This
it's
is iconic, honestly."
they're like, what is going on? I want to see like in the climax of the song, there's one giant doll that looks like Annie, and I literally want her to like be on the ground ripping ripping its head off, pulling the stuffing out and throwing it
Yes.
just covered in tears and snot, and like I want you to be able to smell the fucking booze from off the stage. Like, I want to do it. I really want to do it.
Oh
I
my
want to do it
God.
so bad.
Oh, it would be
Like,
so good. I will be there helping any way that I can. Just like
please.
it literally, I would love it. I
I
would
can hear
man.
the reviews. I want people to walk out. I want
Oh yeah.
I want all of the major news outlets to say it, and then all of the like little queer zines that people read to go, this is the most radical thing ever. Like, I want it. I want it. I want it all.
It's the most radical because like nothing else is taking any steps.
Literally, because that's the gag. It really wouldn't even be that insane, because that would be the hitter. It's like there's really nothing crazy happening in this
You
show.
watch this on the news. Like, why are you?
Okay, but this is the first time I've seen this on a Broadway stage.
Oh my God. Yes, we're manifesting Broadway. We're taking it to
Oh
Broadway.
God, we gotta take it. We gotta take it. Boom, up the ladder to the roof.
Yes,
I mean, not that
100%.
Broadway's really the roof anymore.
It
Quiet as
still
it's
is
kept.
honestly though like where you see a lot of the place, like the place.
Oh, the state, like, this is the thing for stage plays, Broadway, as far as I know, has been doing a lot better in that realm. And I think part of the part of it is, as sad as this is, because a lot of people don't go to see stage plays,
Right.
so there's less of an incentive to be like, this has to be a certain way. For the most part, they let people take chances with plays, but also because they've been taking chances with the plays for longer, because the concept of the musical is relatively new, or the
Mm-hmm.
musical as we know it. So musical theater hasn't even been around long enough to have the same people haven't gotten bored of seeing, well, that we are now, but like the people who pay to see these musicals on Broadway all the time, the Midwestern flyover state girls with money and pensions, they are not tired of seeing those shows like that yet.
Right.
Whereas like the people who watch plays, like, we've been done. We were done.
We
They
need
were done.
new.
Literally, they were finished seeing plays like that before we were even born.
Right.
Before our parents were born.
Right.
Tina Shade. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking recently about like, because In the Heights just came out. So I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
about all the like stuff that's coming back about that at like the reviews and all those things, like we were just talking. And then I was thinking about how when In the Heights was originally written, Lynn was in the area. You know what I mean? Like, so like a new work has a more chance of being seen over there and then blowing
Mm-hmm.
up, in my opinion. Maybe it's tourism, maybe it's the community. I don't know, but it was something I was just thinking about earlier today and yesterday.
Oh
Like,
no. Yeah. It's like a it's this thing where like most big things don't get discovered in New York, but if it does get discovered in New York, it will skyrocket to the top.
Mm-hmm.
A
Yeah.
lot of the other ones like had to work like honestly in Seattle and like Boston and places, and then like got notoriety, Atlanta and got notoriety, and then they're like, okay, we can move this to New York definitely, and
Yeah.
the girls will love it. But like very few shows like will start in New York and be like, this is it. But if you do,
Honey.
boom, there's no, it's 0 to 100. There's no
Yeah.
like journey there.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, go, and we're
There's
here.
no like, let's workshop it at the La Jolla Playhouse. Let's
No,
see.
it's like, oh, you wrote the first sentence? Awesome. Take it to the top. We love it. We love it. Send it out.
Exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
So what is something you want to bring into the canon? What's your show we should know?
Definitely Passing Strange. Passing Strange is a show that I think everybody should know about. It's my best friend Siobhan. Shout out to Siobhan if she's watching this. Love you. We started theater together in high school, and you know, we still both do it. And that's my baby. That's my person. She's the Christina Yang to my Meredith Grey, and vice versa. It's my girl.
Yes.
But Passing Strange, I fought that musical for a while just because like I was just getting into musical theater and I was blinded by the white and all. I was like, Les Mis and Into the One and the Man. I don't want to listen to that because that's just what when I got into it, those are the shows that were given to me. Again, the canon. So if it didn't fit into those, I was like, well, this must not be good at all. But then I finally sat down and like watched it because there's like a DVD of it, and I was like, "Oh, this is sensational."
Yeah.
Do you know Passing Strange at all?
I've heard of it a couple of times, and like someone else I think has said it, or I don't remember, but I've heard amazing things. Oh wait, no, I think it was on the first episode. One of my friends I think said it. I love it. Continue.
It's so good. There it is. It's coming, but you got to find it now. Passing Strange, and then A Strange Loop, queer music about queer black musical journey of this queer black fat. That's also part of that character's journey. Just dealing with like body dysphoria and internalized homophobia and internalized racism and passing and being one, and specifically the story of like a black gay, a black queer character who has spent a lot of time inhabiting white spaces and and like reconciling your blackness with this access to whiteness, but like this also like brush up it's complicated, and it's something that's going to like be having grown up in Catholic school and honestly just doing theater in Seattle. Like that constant feeling of like there's so much unlearning that has to be done. And I have a lot of conversations with other Black friends about this, of like when you grow up and you learn to appeal to whiteness as a survival mechanism, when you get older you have to unlearn that behavior. And this musical does some exploring of that I really enjoy. Actually, Passing Strange does too as well. They're both great. They're both, yes, hella black, but both completely different. One is like A Strange Loop sounds like contemporary musical theater, but through like black fingers. And then Passing Strange is a rock musical.
Oh heck yeah.
But it's still hella black and it's fantastic. It actually takes it back to the roots of where rock came from. Loud as it said, but
say it louder.
Okay. But yeah, those two, I think I would start with those two. Like, and then there are plays. This one was just on Broadway, and I like it because I'm ready to start having more complicated conversations about race and racism. Like, I don't think all of us are ready to leave white man bad theater behind, because some of us like still have not learned history lessons. So like, I'm not saying we're past that. A lot of the girls still need to hear these things. But I think now but we also live in like a globalized world. And like, yes, white supremacy is the thumb on top of all of us, but underneath that thumb, we have our own little pockets of shit that we like to do, we like to not talk about amongst ourselves. And like more, and it even adds more complicated questions because then you start putting individualism into the mix. So then it's like, well, the question of like micro versus macro racism and what happens between closed doors and how that is affected by everything outside, and is
Mhm.
everything outside affected by that. Slave play, actually I have it right here, I'll get it later. No, so slave play was just on Broadway recently, and the premise of it is that they're this isn't really a spoiler because you could read any review, and the play starts with this. So the
Right.
play is, it's split into two distinct parts. The first part is a series of scenes where you watch interracial couples go through um, slave slave master sexual scenarios. So there's bootlicking, there's obviously like force, there's rape, like all of these things. And it's like the slave master. And then cut, something happened, and then cut, and you find out that all of this was a therapy set, couples therapy between these interracial couples. And then you watch the therapy session of all of these couples discussing what went on. And it does
Whoa.
not go where you think it does.
I have no idea where it would go.
Woo! Bitch, it's a play. It is a fucking play. And
Yes.
I read it and was like that's, and this is the thing. It's not even that I think that this play like is for everyone and that everyone needs to like see it. It's a very specific play, but it's, what I like about it is that it's having a more complicated discussion about race. I'm ready to
Mhm.
have this. I would like to start having more complicated. I'm so tired of like, again, the white man bad theater, because every time I see it I go, well, yes, I grew up knowing this lesson, so this isn't for me. Like I
Mhm.
know, you know what I mean, I know about racism being bad. What about the stuff that's in here that I've been taught that now like I enact on other people and enact on myself? Like what about the talk, like the ways that like I'm ready to start having conversations about Christianity and the black community, and how like Christianity is a tool of white supremacy. And like I've seen throwaway lines about it like in shows and like plays, but I've never seen like someone actually tackle what that is. How like our grandmothers raised us on this religion that was used to justify the rape of their mothers. Like we don't what? We don't, we're
What?
not, we're not going to discuss this. Okay, fine. Whatever. No, but let's keep talking about affirmative action and how like the white students are mean. Like I'm over it now. Like
Yeah.
I would like to talk about more. There's more to be talked about.
Entirely.
Yeah, but it's
Definitely.
good. So I'd say safe play, passing strange, and a strange loop.
Awesome. Those are three, like I need to go read them all because like
Oh,
I've heard about two out of three. I think that you're the first one to say a strange loop and it sounds
yeah,
actually it sounds amazing.
so good.
But
That one
like
actually uses like classical. It uses a Greek chorus style, so
oh
even
my
pulls
God.
from. It's so good. Sorry.
No, you're good. I haven't thought about a Greek chorus as a tool in a long time.
Honestly, if you sign up for the National Theater streaming service, I've been watching a lot of them. They have two really good productions of one of Antigone and one of Medea. I talked to Miss Anna Sophia, and they're like a Medea scholar. That's like their favorite piece of theater, so they know everything about it. And they hated it, and that's fine. But I loved it.
Yes. I've got the Broadway HD. I share that with my brother. We watch plays and we talk about them as like a book club outlet.
Mm, I like that.
It's
That's
really
cute.
fun. And he's not someone who has done theater much. He works in
Hmm.
animation. And so it's like really cool to like talk to him about like theatrical shows and be like, what did we like about it? What didn't we like about it? Did we think this was cool? Did we think this was like all those things?
Yeah, I love
Like,
that stuff.
yeah, it's
That's
so interesting. Like,
yes.
this is a shocker. I like to talk to people about theater. I'm not
Imagine
shocked.
that. I'm personally, I didn't see that coming. That was a plot twist
I
for
know.
me. For
I
me, really.
I'm a box of mysteries, you know?
Mister.
They just come on out.
Like those
You
those
wouldn't
those
expect it.
those white airheads, which now that I say it out loud is actually hilarious.
Hilarious. You never know what you're gonna get.
You never know.
Could be sweet, could be questionable.
There was a meme on there that it was like when it was like when you can't place somebody's race, it was like white mystery because that's the name of the airhead flavor,
Oh
and it
my
just
god,
had that
yes,
picture.
yes.
So this
That
is great.
that's the
Like,
name of the flavor?
it's called white
Iconic.
mystery. Like, so are you Greek, Italian, or from Spain? White
Or
mystery.
Irish.
Or Irish.
Swedish?
Sweet, maybe. Oh no, we know them. That those the
They're so
Swedish DNA
specific.
strands, those stick like gum on the back of your head. Like you're like, oh, I know where you're from.
That is so funny. Oh my god, I
Oh,
adore
those
you.
Scandinavian genes.
Can't handle you. I love it so much. So, do you have any shows that are happening around you in the world that you'd like to promote at all today?
So I'm doing a musical called How Can I Love You? Um and I just got the script yesterday. I don't know much about it, but before me get on some winery. So like
Ooh,
I guess that's
a
not really like
winery.
a plug. I don't know if there are tickets involved. I don't know anything. I just know that I'm getting paid and I'm singing music.
And we love
But
that.
that's really all. I really have not been given any information. I have the rehearsal schedule. But I am doing that. I know I did the Romeo and Julieta
Amazing.
situation with Seattle Shakespeare,
Yep.
and the I have my personal aversions to Zoom theater, but like I
Hmm.
also think that I did and my friends did. We work really hard on these things, so if like you can see them, you can see them. Definitely throw some money their way and watch that work. Um, what else is going? Now that everything is like now that the world is like snapping back like a bra strap. Not there's not a lot. I don't know a lot of Zoom things that I've been. I'm just like, well, also I've made it very clear to people who are close to me that I don't want to see nor be a part of any more Zoom theater. So I haven't been getting any links or anything. So there might be things going on that
Who's to
I'm
say?
unaware of. I will say Intiman Theater just got done doing their 2020 Vision Through Their Eyes. I believe it was called. It was like a student run thing that they did. It's not online anymore, which is really sad. But
Wow.
that was probably there's a bunch of kids, and it was the best thing I've seen in the past year and a half.
Aww.
Nobody's doing it like them. They understand those Starfish Project, those kids, Starfish Project and South End Stories are the two people who are like who work on this. Starfish through Intiman and South End Stories is like in conjunction with them.
Yeah.
I don't know what the contracts say, but they're working together.
Yeah.
And their work has just been really good. It's been really solid. And I can't wait to see more. I mean, I'd hope not to have to see more because hopefully we'll be open. But if we
Yeah.
do have to do this some more, or if they honestly, it was more of a film anyway, so maybe they'll start doing more film work. They were the ones who realized that if you're gonna, you know, do plays on film, you should probably treat it like film.
Yeah.
But
What a
whatever.
concept.
What a novel thing. You mean you don't want to watch me read this play on my bathroom toilet? You don't? Imagine me delivering you Hamlet from right here. Just
Amazing.
giving it to you.
Just...
No, it's not. Don't lie to me. It's terrible, is what it is. But yeah, so I don't know. I really don't know of anything else that's happening in the cyberverse, but Google's free. I encourage all of you watching or listening to, Google Zoom Theater with your city's name. I promise you something will come up.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, put virtual theater. I promise you something will come up. If you're itching for that, please do support the artist. But even if you can't, if you're like me and you're like, I refuse to, completely respect that. That means we better see your ass in those seats when the theaters open up. And I'm looking into the camera because I better see your ass in those seats. You can be just as angry and pissed and honestly a little condescending as I am when it comes to Zoom theater, but I'm going to be on that stage when we come back. Where the fuck are you going to be? So if you're not going to be there, then watch these damn Zoom shows.
Yes. So do you have any like little self promos you'd like to throw out there? Your social medias, anything like that?
I don't even know if these fuckers want to follow me on social media. Just my mouth. If you can't tell by all these bleeps, you probably heard more bleeps in this episode than any other episode. And I honestly,
I don't know about that.
Well, we're gonna go for it. Yeah, there's How Can I Love You is happening, but I don't know if people can come see that. It's also like out in the middle of nowhere, like, which is honestly we're gonna spend 2 weeks on this guy's winery.
Oh my God.
Doing musical theater under the stars.
Hi.
Food. I feel like I'm in Athens or something.
Okay, if there's tickets, you send me the link immediately.
Okay, immediately. Doing that, I did write the script for the Fifth Avenue Theater Awards, and which it's actually been really good. It's been really good working with them, with Catherine and Fifth. It's been great, and like it's my first like paid writing gig.
Yes.
So like it's been very fun, and I have a knack for writing award shows. I now know, and that's great. Put that in the bag.
Love it.
Social media, you can find me Japaul Bernard on Instagram, or Japaul 90 on Twitter. Twitter is where Instagram is where like I'm like pretty much myself. Twitter is where I'm the worst version of myself. So you choose whichever.
Pick your own adventure there.
Really though. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for y'all.
Okay, awesome. So my very last and sneaky question is, who would you like to see on this podcast?
Definitely Jay O'Leary. Definitely Jay Woods. It's not Jay Woods because they're married. Jay Woods. Definitely Dimitri Woods. Definitely Kyle Hartman. Definitely Sarah Porkalob. Definitely I mean, they're like, honestly, like I think it'd be like the audience, the people that you tend to ask are usually around our age. I think it'd also be fun to like get some older perspectives.
Agreed.
So, like, like a Valerie Curtis Newton, you mentioned, or a Timothy Piguet. Those girls would like that would be fun for them.
Yes.
I don't know if they'd have time, but like
that's a good question.
Just that era of theater artists would be, because I learn something every time one of them opens their mouth and looks in my direction. So I'm like, an hour of them talking about what theater could have been, should have been, and needs to be. Yeah, I'd tune in.
Yes. Awesome. So thank you so much for joining me today. It was amazing having you. Always amazing. And thank you to everyone who is listening or watching. I don't know where you're watching or listening from, but please give us a like, do whatever you're supposed to do on the platform that you are on, and go out and have like a fantastic day. I don't know. Do it. Bye.
Enjoy yourselves. Gang, gang.